that you're all doing well. While we let folks kind of settle in and join, if you could just put your name and your agency and your job title and maybe a word that describes how you are feeling today in the chat, that would be great. Thank you. Then we can kind of get an idea of who's in the room. And I will put a reminder here so everyone knows. So, job title, and okay. Awesome. Peaceful. I love it. Hi, Cassie. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Layla. Hi, Cindy. Lots of folks joining in. Is it Elias? Is that correct? Awesome. Hi, Natalia. Hi, Babs. Awesome. Welcome. Okay, we'll give folks one more minute and then I will introduce myself. And we are kind of starting a new path today a little bit. So excited to share more about that here very shortly. Hi, Elizabeth. Catherine, welcome. Hi, Maya. Hi, Megan. Welcome. Hannah, I'm sure I'm missing some folks as they come in kind of fast on my end. So great to have all of you here. Thank you so much for sharing. I hope you're doing well today. Okay, it is the magic time of 9:33 when we start meetings. I hope that you are doing well today, and I realize I don't have my CSN background on. I'm just gonna pop that on real quick. Okay, here we go. So my name is Annie Lindy Kugel. I'm the Executive Director for the Community Services Network, or the CSN. We are here at our monthly learning session. Oh, and I use she, her pronouns, my apologies. And yes, so this is our monthly learning session. We have kind of switched things up. We're in the process of changing things around here at the CSN, shifting roles and responsibilities, and just creating space for exciting things to come. So with that being said, Marin Ricketson, our outreach coordinator, I want to say hello to Marin. Marin is on here. Marin will be taking over our monthly learning sessions, hosting them. I will still be on, but Marin, you will be hearing from Marin if you are presenting, or if you're interested in presenting, or if you have questions, or if you're looking for Zoom links, or if you can't find the date that we're hosting. All of that will be run by Marin, and you'll be in great hands. Marin is doing an awesome job. I'm sure many of you, especially the presenters today, have already interacted with Marin. So super excited and grateful to have Marin take over this. So great to have you here. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce Marin Ricketson, our new monthly learning session coordinator, outreach coordinator here at CSN.
Hi everyone, nice to see your faces and meet some of you. Some of you I recognize, so it's really good to see y'all today. So yeah, I think that with that all being said, we can kind of jump on in. Our theme for today is employment and education, and we have a list of some wonderful presenters today, and I'll pop it in the chat just so that y'all can keep track of who will be presenting and sort of the time frame. So everybody will present in 10-minute increments. We don't have a ton of time for questions during the presentation, but I encourage y'all to use the chat so that we can kind of keep things moving and grooving as folks are setting up to present for the next slot. So yeah, super excited. And our first presenter is Leanne from Family Skill Builder Services. Leanne, are you here and ready to roll?
Yes, actually, it's Desiree Boyd-France, who is our executive director, and she's going to be presenting today.
Okay,
I'm here
awesome.
as support.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, Desiree, if you want to share your screen and talk us through it, really looking forward to hearing.
Yes, I can do that. Just pulling up my presentation. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, beautiful.
Great, love it. All right. Good morning. I'm Desiree from Family Skill Builders, and I have a whole presentation about our agency. So Family Skill Builders is a nonprofit that provides family support to prevent child abuse and neglect. We have a few different program areas that I'll go over, but essentially the goal is that children will live with their families and be nurtured within those families and remain safe. So our 4 different program areas that we have are our Safe Connection program, which provides safe visitation and supervised exchanges for families that have experienced domestic violence. And so I will be elaborating on that program today. The 2 that are in orange, I will be elaborating on because I think that those would be the ones that would most likely be accessed by the people that are here and the community. So we also have groups that we do with families that are involved with child welfare and whose children are in foster care. Prevention program, which is in-home parent training and family support to prevent abuse and neglect. And we also do work with families that are involved with ODHS who we also do reunification and stabilization services with. Sorry. So our Safe Connection program, essentially we have families come to our center, and the goal is to have a safe place for the child to visit their other parent without having any contact between the 2 parents. So essentially we are trying to prevent further instances of domestic violence, as well as having the child have a safe place to visit so that there's no harm that comes to the child. So essentially, we will have survivors and the non-custodial parent in our facility. We will have a lot of safety precautions to make sure that there's no stalking or contact between the parents. So, we'll have the visiting parent come and be there, and then have the survivor parent come and essentially make it so that the other parent cannot see where they're coming from. And then at the end, we'll give them kind of a head start so that the other parent can't see where they're going afterward. And while they're in the facility, we have a lot of safety measures that we take in order to ensure that there's no contact between the parents. If there's any sort of domestic violence being perpetrated through the child as well, we will shut that down so that that doesn't happen. And yeah, we essentially want to make sure that the children can see both of their parents, even though there has been maybe something that has happened between the parents that is not, the most positive thing, and that the child doesn't need to see any of that. So yeah, we also will safety plan with a lot of other community partners if we see anything that is concerning between the parents, or it could be a safety issue or safety threat. We have a lot of high lethality cases that could really go in a direction where it leads to there being a lethality. And so if there are cases like that, we will ensure that we communicate with any community partners to safety plan for those families. And we also are creating some short form videos for the court to educate them on different facets of domestic violence, what it's like going through the system for a survivor, for the child, as well as just some other kind of high needs facts about domestic violence so that they can make the best decisions when they're creating those kind of like rulings for the families. So also our prevention services, completely different than that. That's a very highly structured thing that we do in one place. Our prevention services we provide throughout Washington, Multnomah, and Clackamas counties. So essentially we go to the families' homes and we will, we can do customized hands-on parent training for the families. We use evidence-based curriculums. We also are starting to do parents as teachers with all of the families that we serve that are appropriate for that. It's kind of, we serve children from 0, actually prenatal, to 18. So any child within that range we can serve. So, we'll go to the home and essentially meet the parents where they're at so that there's no barrier to them having to go somewhere in order to get the service. And also we can kind of see how things are going in the home to make sure that we are kind of giving a holistic approach to how we're serving that family. All of our services are customized based on the needs of the family. So essentially, we could work with a family that just kind of needs some help getting some basic needs met, to a family that has some complex, they've left a domestic violence situation and they need to kind of like rebuild their life and get the child into school, rebuild their relationship, things like that. So it really depends. There's a whole range of things that we can do with families, and it's all customized based on the needs of the family. We also connect families to a network of other community service providers, as well as try to get them connected with other people in their community so that they have a support network after we leave. And so it's not just like, hey, we're here to help, and then they have nothing after we leave. So we try to really make sure that people are connected and kind of like locked into their community supports after we're gone, hopefully to make it more sustainable for the family. And we do have a limited amount of support funding for these families. We have had a lot of families that have been coming to us needing rental assistance, and unfortunately we don't have the funding to support every family's rental assistance. But we can help with other things that would help keep the family safe in order for them to, use their funds toward that. So, yeah, I wish that we did. If anybody has a magic wand for that, I would love to hear about it. So yeah, essentially we want to increase parenting skills for families, increase attachment, make sure that family violence is decreased. And we really want to make sure that ACE scores for kids are at 0, ideally, so that we can have some positive outcomes for their futures. And then we also are looking to, increase the number of families that we're serving. So if you have families that you think would be good for this service, we would love to hear about them. This essentially is to prevent families from being involved in child welfare, from being involved in the justice system in the first place. So we really want to reach families before that becomes a thing. So if there's a family that you're like, okay, this isn't rise to the level of a hotline call, but things aren't great, those are the types of families that we want to hear from so that we can make sure that we're reaching those families before some sort of incident happens and then they do become involved with ODHS. And that's it. That's what I got for you. Does anybody have any questions, or do we have time for that?
I think, yeah, if you do put them in the chat, I'm sure that, yeah, people probably have some. And Desiree, thank you so much for presenting. That was really cool to hear about. So our next presenter is Catherine from United We Heal Career Pathways. You ready to
Hi,
roll? Okay,
ready to
awesome.
roll. Hi, good morning. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Since I learned about y'all over the summer, I'm like, have to get into one of these presentations. So I've been really excited. I am here today with my coworker, Maeve. But really fast, my name is Catherine Raymond. I'm the apprenticeship recruiter for United We Heal, and I use she, her pronouns. Maeve.
Hi, my name's Maeve. I'm the QMHA program manager for United We Heal, and I use she, her, and they, them pronouns interchangeably.
And can you see my screen okay?
Yes, beautiful.
Awesome. Perfect. We can get it to go. Perfect. Okay. So a little bit about United We Heal. We're a super new organization. We started in 2021 as a solution to Oregon's behavioral health crisis, which I'll chat about in just a second. We provide health workforce development that actively promotes diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. And all of our programs are grant funded by state and federal grants. Very simply, we do behavioral health apprenticeships with behavioral health organizations across the state of Oregon. So we are added to their benefits package as ways for employees to scale up and get their credential in different behavioral health areas. We were started as part of Oregon AFSCME Council 75, and we've developed a training trust that's a combination of employees and employers. And so our board is dictated by both parties to make sure that everybody has a voice at the table. And when deciding what actions get passed or what strategies we use moving forward, that we're really hearing from every party to make sure it's the best move forward. But we are a separate 501c3 nonprofit organization from AFSCME. So about the crisis, it's not a secret. I think a lot of people probably know about it, but Oregon is often ranked last when it comes to mental health outcomes and access to substance use disorder resources. In addition to that, we face a pretty severe workforce shortage and staffing crisis. Shortages lead to long waits for treatment, unequitable and unsustainable practices, and poor outcomes for clients, including limited access to culturally relevant care. And what they were seeing when they started the organization was, okay, how can we keep people in this field or attract people to this field? And they saw education as one of those ways of doing it. Going back to school is really daunting. It's very expensive. It tends to take a really long time. So finding ways of bridging the gap of someone wanting to get their degree or credential and then helping them get there. So our solution is the traditional pathway QMHA and CDC certification. This is both through MACBO. They require multiple years of post-secondary education, causing most to enter the field with debt and or to stop working during this time. Current wages for these positions make it difficult to justify taking on that level of debt. And I hope the presentation is not too ant-sized. But you can kind of see their traditional QMHA typically, as I call it, high school graduation. You work multiple years. You might do 4 years of undergrad. You might do 2 to 3 years of a master's program. So it could take like 7 to 9 years to get your credential to get where you want to go. Versus the apprenticeship model, we have a pre-apprenticeship for high school, and then we also just added a master's program that we'll talk about in just a little bit. So this shortens the length of 1 to 3 years, and we also pay for everything in that entire time as well for tuition costs. And we call this the earn while you learn model. So in addition to shortening the amount of time span that people need to get their credential, we see other benefits of an apprenticeship. all the training costs are free. So that's on us through the grant funding. We pay for all tuition. The only cost to the employer is the actual salary that they pay their employees. Other than that, it's on us. We want to make sure that no one is going into debt in order to get the credential that they deserve. We also offer full coordination and support to the organization and to the apprentice. That looks like helping an apprentice with all of their studying and helping them with study time management, as well as applying to the certification when they're done with our program. For the organization, this looks like helping them find folks who are eligible, their employees who are eligible, helping them implement this program, communicating with them actively, making sure that this apprenticeship works as well as it can for their organization. We also believe that apprenticeships help with loyalty and retention, as well as workforce and recruitment demand, because you can use this as a tool when chatting with current employees as well as potential employees. And employees see that their employer believes in them and wants them to grow in their field, and they're willing to grow with their organization. And then the more you upskill your employees, the more possibility there is for reimbursement and billing. And I do want to put it out there that the goal of our presentation is we are looking for more training partners to partner with. So we can't offer this program to just anybody, unfortunately. It does need to be part of a benefits package of an organization. So if your organization is interested in offering apprenticeships, we'd love to chat.
So to talk a little bit more about the earn while you learn model, we're very fortunate that a lot of the credit that our apprentices are getting comes from the work that they're already doing. So you're not required to do any additional on the job work. It's just the job that you're doing right now in combination with some asynchronous classes for the QMHA and CADC programs. Looks a little bit different for the pre-apprenticeship and the QMHP. Right now we have the QMHA, so that's my program, the Qualified Mental Health Associate Program, Certified Drug and Alcohol Counselor, Certified Medical Assistant, Behavioral Health Pre-Apprenticeship, so for high schoolers, as well as the Qualified Mental Health Professional, so that's our master's program. And yes, that is also completely free to people. Right now we're working on implementing an expansion program, so that's the credit for prior learning applied baccalaureate. In just a few months, we're going to have our first cohort of folks, mostly people who are already CADCs or QMHAs, to help them get their bachelor's degree, either just to have her in preparation for that QMHP program. Oh, I'm seeing a message that no one can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry to whoever that is, though. That's a bummer. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going because I know we have limited time. So our vision overall is just to support non-traditional students in navigating the behavioral health career pathway from high school all the way to graduate school. So here is just kind of our career ladder. As you can see, we are looking to support people who come into the program at any level that they come in at. So anyone from an 11th grader in high school to someone who maybe has already done a bachelor's program and just wants the QMHP, to everyone in between, whatever career development they're personally looking for. These are just a couple of our current training agents. Again, if you're on this call and you're interested, we would absolutely love to sign you. These are some of the folks that we're currently working with. So eligibility, who can do the apprenticeship, you have to be at least 18 years old and you need to have a high school diploma, GED or equivalent. If you're looking to do the QMHP program just straight out the gate, then you need to also have a bachelor's degree from an accredited institution. You need to be in good standing with an active training agent partner and be in an apprenticeable role. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment, as well as have at least one person there who has the credential you're seeking, who's willing to meet with you a couple of times a month, because that like journey person to learner model is really baked into all apprenticeships throughout the state of Oregon. And it's something that we really appreciate folks' participation in. So to talk a little bit about the programs, my program, the QMHA program, is the most flexible, I think. So anyone who's doing any type of direct service can do this program. And you just have to have less than 3 years of experience. All 5 classes for this program are asynchronous through the U.S. Career Institute. So people are just able to do it when they find the time. There's no live component. And anyone who, is working in any type of direct service role can do this. CADC 1 is somewhat similar, except for you do need to be working in a substance use adjacent role. So direct service, but with a focus on substance use. Similarly, both programs require about a year of work while you're doing doing the classes. There's a couple of asynchronous classes for CADC as well, and we also have some live classes that our behavioral health career pathway supervisor teaches through United We Heal.
And then to continue on to our programs, our medical assisting apprenticeship is currently on hold, so I'm not going to dig into it too much, but it's very similar to the QMHA program, where it's 2,000 hours. It takes 1 year to complete, and all of your classes are held online asynchronously, so it's self-paced. It's whenever someone can add that studying to their schedule. We hope to open the application again sometime in the next couple of months. And then for pre-apprenticeship, this program is added to a few different high schools across Oregon, and we're hoping to add another 10. So it's any student that's a high school junior or senior interested in going into behavioral health for their career. This helps them massively on their resume of already having a year's worth of experience when they're ready to graduate and start job seeking, or if they're ready to go into college, into just knowing that, oh yeah, I do want to go into behavioral health. I'm choosing the right major, because that's a very big decision. It includes 36 weeks of career training. That looks like weekly video modules that they go through that teaches workforce rights and about unions, and it's interviews with a bunch of different people that have been in the field from entry level to they've been in the field for 30 years, so they can really get a good understanding of what this looks like to enter behavioral health. And it also includes 9 quarter credits that we pay for. It's those typical like entry level psych classes like 101, human development, something along those lines. If it's taught by the local high school, that's great, and we'll help coordinate. It has to be like at that AP level. If it needs to be at the local community college, then we do all the coordination for that and pay for that as well. The really exciting program that we're super stoked about is our QMHP program. We are launching our first cohort starting in the fall of this year. So we look for folks to have a bachelor's from an accredited institution. A little bit different than our other programs, we do 3,000 hours of work experience. So it is a requirement while getting your master's that you need to continue working. This includes the internship and practicum hours. And then we reimburse the cost of all the salary for those OJT hours, as well as the supervision costs to the organization. And then we also cover all tuition costs. And then this also includes the 600 hours of instruction following the K-CREP model. So there's a lot more to dig into it, but I know we're short on time. So that's very general information on that program.
So just a couple of resources for the apprenticeship or for the apprentices while they are in the program really quickly. Each apprentice will work with a program manager, so someone that meets with them at least once a month just to kind of check in and help them along the way on with their classes and entering their hours. We do have limited financial aid available to help folks with things like rent, other things that come up in the life of the apprenticeship. So that's something we always like to advertise. It's really great we're able to do that. And then we do have quarterly study halls as well, where folks can come in via Zoom or in person and just like get help from the program managers, bang out some classes, and meet with other apprentices, kind of get some community. So really quickly, just on our outcomes, we're really proud of the fact that we have like relatively a diverse set of apprentices, especially compared to the population of the state of Oregon. We've, sorry, is this a little bit better for anybody? Sorry, I'm like seeing in the chat, it's hard to hear, but I'm just gonna be as close to my microphone as possible. And okay, thanks y'all. So, we've registered 227 apprentices so far. Right now we have 64. Right now we have 64 apprentices, as well as 64 graduates, not counting folks that we have currently enrolled. So our graduation rate right now hovers around 45%, which is something that we're really proud of. And 75% of our folks or so have only a high school diploma or a GED prior to entry. This is just quickly some contact information for us. If you want to reach out, like Catherine mentioned, we are always looking to sign new training agents. That's specifically why we wanted to come here today. So if this is something that you think that your organization might be interested in, please give us a shout.
Thank you so much. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. That yeah, is super interesting, and we should have the ability to add slide decks onto this list. And so if y'all didn't get all that contact information in the end, hopefully we can put that up. Okay.
Thank you.
Questions in the chat. Thank you so much. And our next presenter is Stacy from FinAbility. You
Hi,
available, Stacy?
everybody.
Awesome. Hey.
All right, I'm just gonna share my screen. All right, is audio okay? And can everyone see my slides?
Yes and yes. And we got a yes in the
Fantastic.
chat. Yeah.
So I always like to start presentations by posing the question, could you rebuild your life with only access to $250? Because on average, this is the reality for survivors of domestic abuse. When survivors are trying to leave relationships, there's just so many financial barriers. Oftentimes, survivors are fleeing their homes, which means they no longer have access to safe housing. Oftentimes, the car isn't in their names. They're losing another large asset. But also personal belongings. So frequently, survivors don't have control over the bank accounts. So even if they have an income, potentially for years, it's been deposited into an account that only their harm doer can access. Additionally, home, as well as work and school are unsafe places because your harm doer knows where they are. So your economic opportunities to build wealth and to further your education are damaged. And so many survivors are isolated where their harm doer has systematically taken them away from friends and family and safe connections. And to kind of put this in perspective, we know that 99% of survivors are experiencing financial abuse. And for female survivors specifically, it can cost them over $100,000 in their lifetime in medical bills and legal expenses. But we know that there's so many indirect costs on top of this. So this number is actually pretty small compared to what we think the actual lifetime cost is. And we know that when survivors leave, oftentimes the most common reason they're going back to those abusive relationships is because they've run out of money. Right now, on average, it takes survivors 7 attempts to permanently leave an abusive relationship. So we created FinAbility with the mission of ensuring that once survivors leave, they have the financial tools and savings to stay safe. So more specifically, our mission is to financially empower survivors, and we do that by building trauma-informed tools for building financial acumen, building savings, and also building that really critical community of support that's essential to empowerment. And a little bit more specifically about our programs, which are all free, and we're looking for referrals for all of them actually. So if anything sounds like a good match for the folks you serve or anyone in your life, do know you can send them our way. But firstly, we have our digital toolkit. This is the point of entry into a lot of our programs for folks. We have about 2,000 to 3,000 folks who access this every month on our website, and it answers some of survivors' most pressing financial and safety questions. Things like, should I get a credit card to help as part of my safety planning to leave? How do I heal from financial trauma? That is a huge element of financial abuse. Or I've just left. How do I separate my finances from my harm doer and understand where I am today financially? Additionally, in partnership with Financial Beginnings, we offer virtual finance classes tailored specifically for survivors. There's elements and content that are specific to survivors' unique situations, and also different elements we've added to make it more trauma informed. Those happen quarterly, and they're open to anyone who identifies as a survivor or serves survivors. And we also have a one-on-one financial mentorship program. We are incredibly proud of this program. We partner with banks and other financial institutions and offer their staff training on how to offer trauma-informed support for survivors. We then pair volunteer mentors with the survivor. They meet for an hour as frequently as they'd like. We've found that most folks are meeting every other week. And this is a time where survivors can ask their most pressing financial questions. There's survivor-led sessions, and some folks are going in for questions about budgeting, and some people go with just a very specific question. Maybe they have a shark loan that they're looking to pay off as quickly as possible and want to understand what's the best way to do that. And this program specifically is virtual, like most of our programs. So a survivor anywhere in the state of Oregon can participate in this program. We also have a 8-person survivor advisory committee at our organization that leads not only our strategic planning, but is a huge part of our programming to make sure that it's inclusive and really responsive to survivors' needs. And they host a quarterly webinar. They range in topics. Sometimes it's a bit more lighthearted, and we'll talk about healing and hope. Other times it's more educational for the general public, and we'll cover topics like what does it actually look like to recover from domestic and financial abuse? What did it look like one day, 100 days, and 1,000 days out of the relationship? I'll do a bigger plug for Speak Out, but this is an event we host for the community where survivors take the stage and share their stories. We also have community partners attend, so when I get to that slide, I'll provide a little bit more context on that, but a really powerful event we hold in Portland every year. And then to further share survivor stories, we do podcasts and blog posts on our website. And it's a way to really fight that shame and stigma that so many survivors are experiencing and fostering that community of support. We also understand that the onus shouldn't all be on survivors when we have a uninclusive, high barrier financial system. So we also work with banks to educate frontline staff as well as their compliance teams on how they can make their services more accessible to survivors. And lastly, actually in a couple weeks, we're launching our savings match program. So any survivor in our one-on-one mentoring program can participate, and we'll match up to $500 in savings in a 1-year period for survivors. And that's money that goes directly into their bank account, and it's a trust-based system. If you say you saved the money, we believe you. So 2 plugs. We are looking for more volunteer financial mentors. So if there's someone in your life or an organization that you think might have great folks for this opportunity, we're looking to add 40 new volunteers on this year. And our goal is to have 50 new survivors join that mentorship program this year. And what I really want to make sure I highlight is our Speak Out event. Last year, we had nearly 100 people attend and about 12 nonprofit partners who tabled. And this is just a really great way for survivors to be in community together, share their stories, but also get plugged into resources that are available in the community. So if you're interested in being a partner in tabling, please do email me. We also give everyone speaking time and a printout with information about your organization. So there's kind of 3 different touch points you'll have with the survivors in the audience. But also, I love just having another opportunity to bring nonprofits together. So it's just also too a really nice way to connect with other folks who are doing important work in the community. So I think we all will have a slide where we just try to emphasize the impact that we can make together. But please do reach out. I will put my email in the chat as well on our website, but we really would love to partner with you. And we're very interested in cross references and referrals too. So if you have folks who might be interested in our programs or vice versa, would love to connect over that as well. Great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stacy. And yeah, for the other presenters too, feel free to put your email in the chat so that folks can know where to reach you. Okay, next we have POIC. Tanya's presenting. Ready?
Good morning. How is everyone today after the long, extended IC weekend, or day before the weekend? But nevertheless, good morning. And I don't have a PowerPoint. We are building our program and changing our flyers literally as I speak. So I will see if I could share the flyer I have. And you guys let me know if you could see that.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. POIC is a post-secondary education pre-apprenticeship training in partnership with the Northwest College of Construction that's located here in Portland. And what we do is offer an exploratory type trades pre-apprenticeship that leads them into apprenticeships with preferred enrollment into the college. And so what that allows for our trainees to do, right now it's a 12-week program, but instead of the 288 hours, we've extended it to 325, and that includes their wraparound services, and that's their retention. Once they complete the pre-apprenticeship and they've decided if they're going to be an electrician with IBW, if they're going to do general labor, contracting, or what have you, we're able to wrap services around them, help them with their application, make sure that all of their documentation is there. And besides that, into that training, we also help them with navigating that process, because with NECA IBEW, the electronics or electrician's apprenticeship is an excruciatingly long wait to get in right now. And it's like, I mean, years, not months. So we kind of get creative and we look at other electrician apprenticeships that will count towards those hours. So when they're ready to go into that apprenticeship, once their application is called, they're ready to go. But also we offer other services, the wraparound services, because we're taking a pre-apprenticeship that offers their stipend that averages about $16 an hour. Once they go into their apprenticeship, that doubles per hour. So we're taking 18 to 24-year-olds and doubling their wages. So we want to make sure they have financial literacy, and that includes credit, that includes possibly mortgage purchasing, of a home. It also looks at how they deal with other barriers they may have. Some of our young people have children, so child support becomes an issue. So we have services that kind of help them navigate that, and even initiating that themselves, because again, they're going from $16 an hour to double that in some apprenticeship cases, almost tripling that. So we want to make sure they're ready to understand what their income brings. We also have a reentry service program through our Sullivan network, and that is a POIC program only. So what that does is allow for those people that are reentry within a year of release to have entry into our pre-apprenticeship from 18 to 45 years old. And we end up going through all this whole process just to assist them and really changing the trajectory of their income. And that's the sole purpose of this pre-apprenticeship, getting people that normally would not be in these particular jobs and earnings into these particular jobs and earnings. So the 12-week program, I'm going to scroll down here, gives them a brief idea of what's going on with construction. A little transparency. I used to work at City of Portland PBOT Construction. So what that allows there is the right of way. So when they're pouring concrete and looking at asphalt and aggregate, I could suggest some things. I'm not an instructor, but I can suggest some things of what that looks like. And that helps us build that rapport with the trainees. They also do math assistance. We use our wraparound services and connect with WorkSource. They have metrics learning, so we're able to help those that need a little math assistance as well. We look at the fundamentals of carpentry. They build projects. Last couple of cohorts for our winter, and now with our fall, they helped Cultivate Initiative with their tiny house building. And we also are working with other programs, other construction companies and owners to do the same thing this year, this cohort. They leave our cohort with their certification, first aid, OSHA 10, and flagging certifications. We can connect them with others with our partnerships with WorkSource. And we are BOLI certified training, which means the Bureau of Labor and Industry requires us to have so many hours to validate this certification so they can then enter into the apprenticeships also through the Bureau of Labor and Industry. And again, I can't emphasize enough the preferred entry into the Northwest College of Construction and what that does for our pre-apprenticeship trainees, because it's not every pre-apprenticeship can offer that partnership. And I went kind of quickly. If you have any questions, you could ask. I will be presenting again once we have something more formal as opposed to our flyer that's being reorganized as I speak. And my information is inside, in the chat. And I see a few,
Awesome.
especially for ERCO, that I'll be reaching out to see if your trainees or any people you know are interested in our program as well.
Thank you so much, Tanya. And you were so efficient that you got us back on track. So appreciate that. And yeah, definitely put your email in the chat so folks can know where to reach out to you. And yeah, there's some questions in the chat for you too. So next we have MFS Cash Oregon from Amanda.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Let's pull my slideshow up. Okay. Yeah, so as Maren said, my name is Amanda Glazer. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the lead community outreach coordinator with Metropolitan Family Services Cash Oregon program, or MFS Cash Oregon for short. We're an economic empowerment program of Metropolitan Family Service, a nonprofit some of you here may have be familiar with, work with, or be a part of from what I saw in the chat. But we do here at Cash Oregon is provide free high quality tax preparation to low to moderate income families and individuals. So this year our income cap is $67,000 a year. And we do this as part of the IRS's Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, or VITA program. It's a fancy way of saying we have over 300 volunteers who go through thorough training and multiple IRS exams every year to be equipped to be able to do this tax preparation work. And we on staff also go through that same training and certification process yearly. In addition to doing tax preparation, we also do culturally responsive outreach to communities that often face barriers to filing their taxes and thus accessing tax credits and tax refunds. And so what that looks like in effect, whenever someone comes through our doors for a tax prep appointment, we want to maximize their refunds. Often that'll be through targeted tax credits for low wage earners like the Earned Income Tax Credit, or EITC, or the Child Tax Credit, but also just by doing a really thorough intake interview process, making sure that we're using the most advantageous filing status, making sure that we're getting all of the regular deductions they qualify for, getting all their dependents. And then within that too, we really want to help folks do more than just meet the yearly filing deadline. We also want to help folks build strong financial futures. And taxes can actually be a pretty good way to get a leg up financially in the short term, because by and large, unless you owe money, your tax refund is going to go directly into your pocket. And so especially when we're looking at these tax credits and these larger refunds, it can really make a big difference. We also do assistance surrounding ITINs, which are individual tax identification numbers. They are used by folks who are either undocumented but working in this country and have a reason to file taxes, or by their spouses or dependents who don't have Social Security numbers. It's a lot of sensitivity surrounding that. As you can probably imagine, it's a little bit complex. So we really seek to be able to provide this service in a compassionate and a clear and concise way. Outside of our actual tax sites, we also do a lot of community outreach and tax education. I know actually looking at the list, I've partnered with some of you in this room, which is pretty cool. But in addition to this, I do tax navigation workshops where I will just come in and teach folks about taxes. And then also just a lot of resource fairs, sharing information, all that good stuff, just trying to get the word out and make taxes as less scary and as most advantageous for folks as possible. Where we serve, we have over 19 tax sites in the Portland metro area. We have one tax site down in Eugene that opened in 2023. And I get to lead what are called our pop-up tax sites. So I will partner with different nonprofits, partnering with the libraries, churches, and I will come in with a team of volunteers, all the equipment, and we will host a tax site right there on site for your folks that day. Our peak tax season is late January through mid-April. And during that time, we have sites that are open 7 days a week. Some of our smaller sites might only be open 1 or 2 days, but we really seek to have a wide array of times, days, and locations, because we know folks have a lot of schedules, working, childcare, all that good stuff. Our largest sites are in Northeast Portland, where we call Plaza. It's in the Kearns area. We also have a large site in Beaverton, and then our Impuestos Comunitarios program is in Gresham. Out of COVID came a virtual tax preparation model that has proved really successful. Folks with the tech skills are able to upload their tax documents through a secure portal on our website, and virtual volunteers will prepare that return for you and connect with you via phone throughout the process. We also, outside of that peak tax season, do what we like to call tax prep summer camp, and that's just at those largest locations in our virtual site. It's a May through October, great time to get caught up if you're behind on taxes. Great way for amending, getting an extension. Basically, we want to help you with taxes all year round. Touching upon that Impuestos Comunitarios program a little bit, this is one of our culturally specific sites for the limited English proficient Spanish speaking community. Almost all volunteers are bilingual, all staff is bilingual. There's additional assistance for completing paperwork in Spanish because the IRS doesn't always translate things, and when they do, sometimes the translation is a little wonky. There's a really high level of knowledge for what we call complex family situations, which is what I was talking about, where maybe taxpayer has a social security number, but spouse does not, or depends in another country. So this is one of 2 culturally specific sites, but really one of the most robust programs in the state of Oregon for free tax prep for Spanish-speaking families and individuals. In terms of who qualifies for our service, this year our income is $67,000 a year, and that is the same for a family as an individual. We can do most returns within that income cap, though there are some restrictions surrounding income from rental properties, think an Airbnb, Vrbo, certain types of education expense adjustments. Sale of cryptocurrency is out of scope, and then we're not able to do complex self-employment scenarios. So mostly we're able to help folks who are gig workers, dog walkers. And on our website, cashoregon.org, on the homepage, I built a little Do I Qualify tool, and it's just a little quiz. Anonymous just goes through the scope questions one by one. So if you or if someone you're referring isn't sure if you qualify, take a look at that quiz. These are all active links for when the slideshow goes out as well. As I mentioned, we have the 2 primary models of tax preparation. In person, generally speaking, most of our sites are going to require an appointment to guarantee service, though some will take walk-ins as they're able. The appointments are generally 75 to 90 minutes, though yours may be quicker if your return is simple. They rarely go over, but they can if they're complicated, and that time is there for you. And then generally your return will be prepared during that appointment. We can transmit it electronically, or we can print it out, set you up with a label, all that good stuff. Our virtual tax preparation model is available 24/7. Once again, these are active links to get to the pages that you need. You would upload your documents into the portal, and then your return will be prepared within about 2 weeks, with your virtual tax preparers connecting with you over the phone, so you're still involved in the process. I'm not going to go through this for the sake of time, but this does exist on our website in a tax prep checklist. Recommend reviewing that. Big thing that I want to emphasize is in order to complete the return, we need to see photo ID for everybody on the return, and a social security card or ITIN letter for the primary taxpayers and spouse, unless we are helping you with your ITIN assistance. This is once again linked in previous pages, but take a look at this because we want to be able to prepare your taxes on site and not ask you to come back because you're missing docs. And then really quick, because I think I'm about at time, just to give you an example of a testimony. This was an actual client of ours. We call her Damaris for her privacy. When she came to us, her income for the year was just over $15,500. We used to serve her house. She was head of household with 3 kids, which is tax talk for 3 kids, a single mom for 3 kids, excuse me. And when all was said and done, she took home almost $11,000 in state and federal refunds. Over $6,500 was that earned income tax credit that I mentioned that we're really trying to get for folks, and then almost $2,000 in title tax credit. And so while we're not every single person is going to be this lucky on their tax return, this truly does happen, and we want to be here to help make it happen. So I have 2 sets of contact information here. The first set is specific to tax prep appointments and appointments about getting tax prep help. Those go to our cash admin staff. And then if you're interested in talking more about some sort of a partnership, I also have my contact information, which I'll pop in the chat. you. Are there any questions after my speed run of this?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda. That was really cool to learn about. Next, we have Natalie from Goodwill Job Connection. Ready to go?
Yep.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie. I am getting my slide up. There we go. So I am the Portland area program manager for Job Connection. Overall, our mission at Goodwill is to provide vocational opportunities to people with disabilities, as well as others with barriers to employment. So at Job Connection, we are the largest program. And how exactly do we do that, right? So we have a 100% free job search services program. We provide one-on-one job search support. We do resume and cover letters, personalized as well as generic job leads, invitations to events, one-on-one interview practice, skills review and assessment, and then we do recommendations to other vocational services programs. What does the participant path look like when they sign in? So enrollment is a 12-month service period. You have to be 16 and older. Currently, an SSN is required, but hopefully soon we will have the capability to use an I-94 instead while people are waiting for their SSN. Hopefully by the end of spring. It's been approved, we just gotta wait on our developer. You gotta sign a contact release form, a CRF. At intake, we do assessments for reference materials, like we have lists of second chance employers, staffing agencies, as well as long-term employment, check your resume, cover letter assistance, do reviews, help people write it, provide technology to do that as well. Lots of outreach with job leads, invites to events. We will not just promote our own events, but if you're having an event and we're tabling, we will help promote your event as well. Referrals to other programs. That doesn't just mean other Goodwill programs. If you have a program that you want our participants to know about, please send it to me and I will forward it to all of Job Connection. And also other CW services. We do for interviews and job offers, practice interviews, clothing cards, once per service period. If somebody has an interview coming up, they just got a new job or they just got a promotion in their job and they need clothes, they can get a $40 clothing card by contacting their employment specialist. We also do TriMet passes. If you have an interview coming up and you don't have transportation, we can give you a day pass. If you're waiting for your first paycheck in order to pay for a hop card, we can also give you multiple passes. We do check-ins. Our goal is to check in with every participant that at least once a month. This is, I say that, but this very much is a choose your own adventure program. So if a participant isn't responding to us, they're going to get on our email blast. They're going to get our constant contacts for the invites to events, but they're probably not going to get as individualized service if we can't get a hold of them, right? That being said, though, there is no limit on restarts. You don't contact your ES because you got a job and you don't really feel like it, but then a year later, you're not happy or you decided to leave it. You can always come back. And that's not a problem at all. So breaks between services are okay, or say you got the service and you really love it and you love your current job, but you want to keep having that cheerleader in your court. You can always just restart services or keep going with your services, I guess is a good way to say it. With that, we also do employer outreach. Each one of my offices, so I oversee 12 offices in Multnomah, Clackamas, and Wasco counties, but we have almost 40 employment specialists working for us all the way as far south as Corvallis is out in Albany up to Battleground, Washington, and then Bend and Redmond and the coast.
So just needed an update.
Yeah. So they can speak with the employment specialists there. They work with their own neighborhood employers. So they are required to network each month, get to know the employers in their zip codes and communities, and then that way they know what job leads are. We also do events that we call Meet the Employment Specialist. Employment specialists will spend time off-site at different locations in order to garner more enrollments or to help out an employer and or other nonprofit. We do weekly what we call Meet the Employment Specialist events at other locations where I'll use Amazon as an example. They'll have their hiring events. We'll go enroll people, and if people are hired on the spot, we'll give them their clothing card. If they're not hired, they just got an interview, so they kind of still get a clothing card, but we'll also help them with their job search after, so it's not a completely demoralizing day. And we bring documented materials. We do the same thing with Cultivate Initiatives for their paid training that will go in every Monday. Every other week during their orientation, I have a senior employment specialist there in order to issue clothing cards. And then we try to stay in contact with those job seekers in order to help them find jobs after their training is over at Cultivate. I have about, I think, 7 to 10 community partners in just Multnomah and Clackamas counties right now. We also do Meet the Employer events, and that's more one-on-one with employers if they want to talk about their job. They have multiple openings. They can come into our conference rooms at our various locations, or we can go and help them host it at their location. We'll market it on Craigslist, Constant Contact. We have the ability to send text messages to our participants to let them know this is happening. That Capstone Logistics loves doing it with us because they usually get between 7 and 15 participants and at least a couple people hired each time it happens. And then it's completely free. Everything I'm talking about is free for employers, free for community partners, free for the participants. And then we also do job fairs. So in Multnomah County, there's always so many job fairs happening that I do participate and put on any large events myself because they're free for our employers to table, but I also help other companies and nonprofits put on their events. So one of our big partners for job fairs is Insight here, and my staff goes and volunteers while Grace is putting on her events, and we help market it as well. Or conversely, my peer in Beaverton, he puts on monthly job fairs at the Beaverton Resource Center, and does them every month and has 8 to 10 different employers that show up right off the max line. I'll send at the end, I'll put all of my contact information and the job specific websites. It is part of the meetgoodwill.org though. In addition to Job Connection services, we also have other free services that happen. So this is our Career Center flyer. This is also a free service. We do free computer trainings for people, open entry, open exit, no registration. They can just come at the time, give a name, and they can do the computer. Even if they're late for the class, they can jump into the middle of the class. We provide the computer, our instructors are certified. So like Monday, multi-level classes. So Monday from 9 to 12 is Word, but say you know the basics of Word and don't want to, learn how to open a document. Come an hour later and it's now going into intermediate Word. The last hour is more advanced type stuff. And that's the same for all of the 3-hour classes. Additionally, we have Tuesdays and Thursdays open lab that all has the instructors are still present to help people, but they can look on their job search. We can, these free services are for everyone, Annie. And they can work on their resumes, work on jobs, searching, come and use the computer for a safe place to do that. And that's at our 3 hubs right now, Portland, Salem, and Vancouver. We also teach these classes offsite. So there's other YMCA's, work source offices, things like that these are offered. I will put that program manager's email for Career Center in the chat when I'm done. And then that way, if you're looking for a place closer to you, you can reach out to Megan, or you can reach out to me and I'll find that information out for you. We also have free English classes. It is the same as our Career Center classes. Give a name, open entry, open exit. We provide the materials. This happens at all 3 of our hubs, as well as various libraries around the city. These are all instructors that have a TESOL or equivalent in order to teach the ESL classes. Tuesdays, 2 hours US citizenship prep as well. All levels. We have 0 to level 3 advanced for literacy. And then also careers at Goodwill. I like to always just talk about this. I've worked here for 17 years and started my job as an entry-level cashier when I first moved to Oregon. I finished my retail career as the senior store manager at our Portland HQ flagship store, and I've been in Job Connection for the last 2 years now. With that, we have a minimum age of 16, able to pass a drug test and a background check. So we're a case-by-case employer, determines on what the issue was, how long ago, all of that type of stuff. HR handles that, not the store managers. But we do have full-time and part-time positions. All full-time employees have 100% benefits. If you're an ESL employee that is working for us, you get the ESL classes during your paid time. We also do our employee and community education classes for both our employees and offsite and all of these things. In addition to that sort of benefits, we have medical, dental, vision, paid holiday, vacation, sick, short-term and long-term disability. We have a retirement program that Goodwill starts for every employee that's full-time, that's up to 7%, up to equal of 7% of their annual wages, including a 3% match on top of that. We do GED, high school equivalency citizenship reimbursement. So our instructors will help our employees get their high school equivalency, and then we reimburse our staff for those costs. We have a college scholarship program for succession planning. I'm currently benefiting from it. Training programs in a very safe environment. In the slide deck that is posted, it just talks about each of the retail jobs as well as how to apply. The how to apply is for any position, not just with retail. So like, I'm gonna pitch a little bit. If you know anybody that has at least an associate's degree and would like to get into employment specialist work, I have an opening at our Gresham office. We have an opening at our Baseline office, and we have an opening that splits their time between Albany and Corvallis. So that is my presentation. Not as good as Zoom, so let me stop share. And then I'll go through and answer all the questions.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Love Goodwill. That's awesome. Okay, next we have Nick and Callie from the PCC Opportunity Center. Y'all ready to roll?
All right, we are. Yes, it's just
Awesome.
me today. So
Okay.
first of all, thank you so much for having us. And thank you to everyone who shared already. Everyone seen my screen? Opportunity
Yes.
centers? Okay, great. So there is a lot more that I could say about what we offer at the Opportunity Centers than I could cover in 10 minutes. So my goal is to just give you a little idea, a taste of what we offer, and then I'll, of course, share our website so you can explore a little further. I'd love to hear in the chat who has or hasn't heard of the Opportunity Centers at PCC before. We are a little different from the campuses in that we work with community members even before they're enrolled in PCC. So we have 2 centers, the Washington County Center, which is the Willow Creek Opportunity Center, and then the one that I'll focus a little bit more on today, which is our Multnomah County Opportunity Center at 42nd Avenue. So we are essentially here to help folks explore what are their career options, to build skills for success, to connect to education, to navigate resources like all of the resources we've heard about today, and to do college their way. So we are mainly working with non-traditional students, and what we mean by that is folks who aren't coming to college right after high school, or may have a barrier or be wanting to work part-time. Most of the students we work with are looking for a quick pathway to a good paying job. So short-term training or skill building they can do alongside working. So we have a number of on-site partners at both centers, and focusing on the Multnomah County Center, I'll just quickly point out we've got the Steps for Success program for TANF recipients. We've got a workforce navigator on site who can help folks with job search. We have a couple of work systems programs. We have the PDX Metro Works, the Next Gen Youth Program. We have a DHS office right on site, a Small Business Development Center, and Native American Youth and Family Center on site. What I'm going to focus on, though, is the college and career prep classes and workshops. So what these are a suite of short classes, just one day, to longer kind of full job training programs. And they are all offered at no cost to participants. They are open to all community members. So we mainly do serve adults. We have one program for youth, but mainly adults or those junior and senior in high school ages are often able to participate too. And we have, for all of our programs, it's just an easy online phone sign up. So if you've ever helped someone through the PCC application and enrollment process, they do not have to do that for these programs. Classes are taught in English, and I just point that out because we do welcome immigrants and refugees and have programs that are specific to non-native English speakers, but even those will be taught in English. Okay, so I'll jump in and just share a few of the different things that we offer at the centers. First of all, we have career exploration workshops. These are great if you are working with someone who's thinking about going to school, thinking about training, and wants to get their foot in the door and be in a college class, but no grades, no pressure, no big deal if you're a little late because you're dropping off your kids at school. And in these workshops, we help folks explore themselves. So do some self-exploration, explore the labor market, explore training opportunities, and essentially make a solid plan for their career and college goals. And we offer this every month at different centers as well as online. So it rotates. So every term we'll offer it in Multnomah County, but every month it's offered somewhere. Like Natalie, we also have computer basics classes. So our classes, it seems like Goodwill has a really robust version of these computer basics classes, and ours are probably a good fit if you're working with someone who is thinking about college, thinking about going to PCC, because it would be a chance for them to learn the similar skills that they would learn at Goodwill, but just they would do it on the campus that they might be going to. So starting to build some confidence being on a campus. And we are offering the computer basics, Google Workspace, Google Docs and Sheets, creating engaging presentations, and we offer them monthly at 3 different locations. So they could essentially attend 3 different workshops a month or just one if they want to stay at one location. And I will just point out, unlike Natalie's program, they do have to sign up in advance. It's free and it's really easy, but we do ask a sign up in advance because we have only 21 computers and sometimes 22 people who want to come. So probably our flagship classes are Discover classes. So these are essentially programs to help people explore careers they might not have thought of and to explore short-term trainings that could lead to good paying jobs with a kind of a career ladder. So they learn about jobs, they meet industry professionals, they tour workplaces, and then if they want to onboard to PCC, they get help with every step of the way of enrolling, figuring out how to pay for college, getting connected to the resources to make it happen, and really making that long-term plan. So we offer these in both healthcare and manufacturing. So every term we offer them at least twice in both locations and sometimes more than that. We're doing a one-day class on a Saturday coming up, so trying to offer these at different times, different locations to really make it possible for everyone to access. No, none of the classes that we've talked about are for only enrolled students. They are for community members, even if they're not enrolled in PCC. And then we have a whole suite of services for our immigrant and refugee community members. Kind of the main class we offer is this Explore College and Careers. It's really similar to the career exploration, but it's longer, slower, includes a little bit more vocabulary building and cultural competence and community building, as well as there are a lot more resources imbued throughout the class that are specific to immigrants and refugees. So this is a great option. We have a lot of folks who are coming from other countries who had a whole career and education, and then they come here and are struggling to figure out how that fits in with our labor market and our licensing for different careers. So this class is a great starting place. And then from this class, there is also a computer basics class that is specific for English language learners, as well as some additional vocabulary building and language supports. Okay, so I think I started at 10:39, so I think I've got 3 minutes left. I've got just a couple more things to share for you. So you might have heard of the Quick Start Semiconductor Training, and good news for Multnomah County folks, this is now at the Opportunity Center at 42nd Ave in Northeast Portland as well. So folks in this program actually get paid $500 to do it, which is really cool. And it is, to be honest, they grow and shrink this program based on the demand for semiconductor technicians. So if there are not jobs available, the class will not run. If there are jobs available, the class will run. And this is one program, the first program I've talked about that does require an application and does have some eligibility requirements. So they're all clearly posted on the website. The steps are really easily accessible, but if anyone has questions, yes, I see people in the chat. I will add you to my email list and I will give you my contact information and I will be very happy to answer any questions. And the short version of this is just, it's a hard skills training and it leads to a job as a semiconductor technician. There are employers aside from Intel, and there are employers in Multnomah County. We have a new program that is similar to that Quick Start, although the barrier to entry is a little bit lower. They don't have to do an assessment for this. We're really just looking for people who want to work in machine manufacturing. So CORE, or CNC Operator Readiness Essentials, if you like to go the long way, is a 2-week training for folks to learn to be a CNC, or a computer numerically controlled machine operator. It's also offered at no cost. Actually, folks get paid $1,000 to do the training. And they interview with employers the week following the class. So just like the Quick Start, there is an application, but it's, again, they don't have to have experience. The eligibility requirements are pretty low. It's just intermediate English and ability to work. So I want to honor that I'm at my time, and I will just say we've got lots more to offer. So this is just a sampling. I'm gonna quickly point out one of the things we offer is trying to help folks connect to scholarships. And I'll put our website on here because you'll be able to easily access all of these from there. And that's my time for now. So thank you so much for having me, CSN, and thank you everyone for your interest. I'll check on the chat next.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Callie. That was really cool. And yeah, Megan said in the chat, but we have Megan and Stacy from WorkSource also to go into a little bit more about some of what Callie was talking about. So yeah, Megan, take it away. Oh, you're on mute.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Callie. I appreciate that you shared some of those programs as well. So we're going to be really quick. We're just going to jump in. I'm going to share my screen here. I'm Megan Schrader. I'm a PCC employee, but I'm here under WorkSource. Callie gave a really good introduction. Can everyone see my screen? Okay. Gave a really good introduction to the fact that I work under a WorkSource grant. And so I'm here with my cohort, Stacy. She's going to introduce herself as well.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Stacy. I am Megan's counterpart for Multnomah County, and essentially, yeah, we just help with connecting customers to trainings.
So on that note, if you kind of piggybacking off of what Callie had said, if you have someone who might be interested in any of those programs like Quick Start or Core, or we also have other programs such as BankWorks, CareerWorks, and all of the programs that Stacy and I are promoting are free for participants. And so it's our role to connect the community with these free training programs and to help connect the right individuals so we can kind of help filter people. So additionally, those of you that are in the community and have these kinds of programs, if you have a program that you're looking for participants, feel free to reach out to us as well, because we can also help connect people to your programs as well. Thank you so much for squeezing us in.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have Kiyomi from Dress for Success next. Are you here, or anybody from Dress for Success? Okay, cool. So we might have a little bit extra time, Megan, if there's more that you want to share. Otherwise, I think that we can kind of use the rest of our time here for if anybody has any other questions that they want to shout out, any other plugs as far as events or call for action, feel free. And yeah, if not, then I super appreciate spending this time with y'all. It's really amazing to spend the morning hearing from people doing amazing work. It's really special to be in this room with all of y'all. So thank you so much to our presenters. Thank you so much to everybody who came here today and spent your time learning about some of our other resources in the area. And yeah, I'll hang out here if anybody has any other questions, but otherwise, this was wonderful. Yeah, and if anybody has any events, share them.
We have our monthly hiring event this Thursday at various locations from 3 to 5 p.m. if anybody's interested. So they just need to show up to the store. Member management will accept the application and let them know if they're hiring or not. If they're on our constant contact list, we do have a list click as well as on our Craigslist. Peg, are you talking about the flyer for the monthly event? Because it's only location specific. I don't have a general.
I was hoping we might have a flyer that we could post about your event this Thursday.
I'll email you. I think I might have something near your place.
There are other folks asking as well in the chat. PS.
Oh, okay. So I didn't see that. I'll send you guys a generic one for the weekend for the week that just has every location, various positions, that type of thing, and with a contact information. I'll make it up real quick.
I love that all the information shared today was incredible. And Maren, great job keeping up with that. It's a lot.
I was just going to say really quickly, if you don't mind, and if I could say really quickly, Tanya at POIC, because the chat is going so quickly, I'm trying to answer all of your questions. So email me. My email is in there. Thanks, Maren, for putting it in there too. So it's at the top and in the middle. So any questions, just email me directly and I'll be able to answer them or forward you the current flyer. But there will be a new flyer of which I will deliver in person at the end of February. And we are starting our enrollment for our June cohort.
Likewise, I'm furiously chatting everyone that messaged me, but I did put my email, so if I don't get to someone before the meeting ends, just message me.
Yeah, and I would say if anyone just wants to come off their mic or turn their mic on and ask the questions, if they didn't get them answered in the chat, it's easy to miss. And I appreciate all the presenters checking back in.
I was curious about that QMHA, QMHP, oh, I don't remember the name of the organization, but that program. If I have clients who are kind of halfway through the schooling requirements, like they've already started their schooling or they've completed degrees and they're interested in that higher level, would they still be good applicants for that program?
So that was United We Heal Career Pathways, I believe, which was Catherine. I don't know if they're still in here. So yeah, speak if you know the answer to that, anybody else, but that might end up having to be an email. But really good question.
Do you have the email, Maya? Are you looking for it? See if I can find it.
I took down all the contact information from the agencies, so I can
Awesome.
reach out to her direct. And
I
Annie,
just-
if you want, if I get an answer, I can send that in an email to y'all so you can share it with the group if they are interested.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And for anybody else, I just put the email in the chat.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Awesome. And I think we've mentioned this before, but the goal is to have all of the presentations on our landing page on our website for the monthly learning session. So hopefully we can include some more contact information and hopefully answers for questions that you didn't get answered. Yeah, Ryan, go for it.
I think you just answered my message, but my question. But it was basically, there was a lot of information in here that I'd love to share with families, but I wasn't able to take notes on all of it. So will participants get like a copy of the slides and emails and stuff like that to contact these individuals?
Yes, you definitely will. If you go to the monthly learning sessions landing page, and I'll just put it in the chat again. I don't have all of the presentations quite yet, but the goal is to have them all uploaded on the Airtable area at the bottom. So if you scroll over to presenter or presentation link, then you should be able to find them. And a lot of the slides I noticed had some contact information in there. So hopefully you can find what you need.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you can also save the chat. Annie just reminded me. Annie, how do you do that?
Yeah, so you should be able to go, if you go into the where you see the list of participants and then go down a little bit, it's in the chat function itself. It says CSN monthly learning session 2025. And then there's 3 little dots next to it on the right. You should be able to save chat if you click on that.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Good job. I learned something new.
Yeah, hey, that's the beauty of tech, is we're always learning new stuff. Can anyone not find it? And please don't feel embarrassed or anything. I'm happy to walk you through it.
Yeah, Annie, I have not been able to do that successfully using a phone or a mobile device. So
Okay.
I can do it. I can do it in every other way.
Okay.
But using those, I don't have access to that.
Okay. Well, I will save it as well, and maybe
Thank you.
Maybe we can figure out a way to pop that saving in on our website.
Yeah, I haven't found it either, and I run Zoom meetings too, so I still haven't found it. On the computer, it's not an
mobile.
issue.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem to be available on.
Oh, you know
Savior Click.
why? It won't be available on your mobile device because it doesn't have any place to save it necessarily. So that's why.
Yeah. So,
but it will,
yeah, that would be great.
On your iPhone, you could highlight it and copy the whole thing.
Right, but then you can't go directly to the links and stuff, which is kind of a benefit of that.
But
and
you
then
can. You can with the new I don't know if it's just a new iPhone, because my new iPhone could do things my 11 couldn't.
Okay, so, I'll check it. No, I'll check it out. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
worthy of
love it.
knowing. So that's
If
worthy
you
of knowing.
take a picture of it, the
Yeah.
link becomes live in your picture.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I will do it. I'll try to do it that way. I'll
Okay.
just have to go page by page by page. So
I know. Ugh.
I know I should have done this earlier on, but hey, it is what it is. Thank you all for
Well,
an
put your
amazing
email
meeting.
in and I can email it to you.
You know what? I'm doing it right now.
Put your email in and
I am doing it right now.
I could email it in a Word document to you.
Check this out, teamwork. That's what I like.
Because this is amazing, and I'm going to take this in, Annie. I'm taking this into upstream access. So this is going to give some other opportunities for us to be able to share that. We have a cohort tonight, and
so good.
Yeah, we'll be there on
Awesome.
Saturday. I'll see you on Saturday as well.
Oh, great.
Because I'm tabling with Erin.
Yay.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Deborah, did you have a question?
Yeah, of course. Very beautiful presentation. Thank you guys for all the great information. Real quick, I wanted to find out, Ryan, it looked like he was helping dads. Can he give me more information? Because I have a customer that is looking for some resources. He just got temporary custody, so he's got living with the sister with the 1 bedroom, and now he got temporary custody with 4 kids. So it's him and 4 kids in 1 bedroom. So I just want to see if there's any resources I can help this single dad.
I think that Ryan has his email in the chat.
He's back.
Oh, there you are. Sorry.
It's all good. I don't have any resources as far as like personally giving out housing, but I have a lot of connections. So if you want to email me, I can provide you the resources I have.
Okay, perfect. Let's see, Ryan, where's your email?
Fourth Fathers is another good one.
Chat's going crazy. I can't keep up.
Which one is that?
It's called Forefathers.
4, like
the number 4. Yep.
Yep.
Check them out too. They're another single dad resource. I have a single dad on my caseload right now too. So dads helping dads and Forefathers are both in the list of resources.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Ryan.
Check it out.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Deb.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hi, Tanya.
About to head up to the college now.
There you go. At least
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day and thanks so much for joining.
Yes,
Thank you.